Hello everyone and welcome to Games We Like. Today we are going to be looking at the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con stick drift issue. You move the joystick a little bit and then your character or whatever this joystick controls starts moving in one direction just by itself without you touching it. This can be caused by a variety of issues, and a lot of people say online that it's due to wear and tear on the internals of the joystick, and that causes debris, which causes it to read the wrong signal that's being put out, and sometimes that can be the case. In my case, for instance, I actually went into one of my joysticks and that was not the issue. So today we're going to look into this Joy-Con. We're going to go ahead and open it up. So now we can go ahead and remove this piece here. Just want to wiggle it out there a little bit. It's still attached with the ribbon cable, so don't yank it out. You may see something that is not familiar to you or in your Joy-Con, and it is this yellow wire here. I added an antenna, or an extension to the antenna, which you can bypass the antenna that goes here, which is not very good. You can bypass it by soldering an antenna onto that. I could have another video on that if you're interested. Leave a comment below. So this is the joystick. We're going to need to remove a screw here and a screw here under this ribbon cable. And we're going to need to disconnect probably this ribbon cable and this one. Tweezers out, and let's see, I think we flip up this black piece here. Try to be careful not to break it. And for this one we're going to want to flip up the gray piece, which flips the other way. There you go. And this may be a little hard to see. It's just a little black. It almost looks like paper, and you just kind of slide it out of there. I think it's that black right there, just a ring around it so it doesn't collect too much dust, but still very possible to get dust in it. So there it is, there's our joystick. Now, at this point, you could have opted to just replace the joystick altogether. There's plenty of spare parts, like on eBay or something. Now we're going to want to open up this joystick. Now to do that, it's very crude and it never will look the same again. So if you don't think you can do that, go ahead and not do it and just replace the joystick, or get Nintendo to do it for you. But I want to take a look. So let's see. So we're just getting a flat screwdriver and we're just prying it underneath here. And then lift up. And there you go. So that one's free. Oh. And make sure not to jam your finger. There you go. This one's probably the hardest because you have to have it straight down and then go up from the end. Okay. Everything is being held in by this metal piece. And once you open it up, everything's gonna fall out from the bottom. So keep that in mind. Make sure not to be doing it like over carpet or where everything's gonna roll away from you. We also need to flip these down as well. So there we go. Down, down, okay. Oh, there you go. It just popped open. So it does have a spring as well, so make sure that doesn't spring out. So that's what lifted it up, is the spring. So yeah, some of the pieces are just like floating in there. This is what mine is looking like at the moment. So spring is gonna go like this in the center of here. And this ring is gonna go right in here once we're finished. So right on top of the large part of the spring. I like the spring, it looks like a little tornado. Now this part took me a while to figure out. This little part, oh, can't see it. Well, it looks like a bridge or something, I don't know. But that is gonna go like this, down. So it's gonna have that dot on the top of it. So you're gonna want it to look like that. So it's got that dot, the prongs aren't up. A good way to store your, or leave your joystick to the side is just to set it upside down on the joystick. And it just will kind of bounce there or slump off to the side. So I'll put that off to the side. Now, looking at our piece here, I don't see anything really out of the ordinary. Now, this Joy-Con, or the joystick on this Joy-Con, will drift very, very occasionally. And it just happens very rarely. I can't even repeat it when I want to. So it shouldn't have too much of an issue. Now I'm just blasting it with light. What people are saying about the these black pieces here, it's all these black pieces rubbing off. That's usually that's usually what people are talking about, but I'm not seeing any parts of it actually rubbing off. I looked into my first one, which was pink. It was a pink Joy-Con, and that's one of the newer ones, so it was a little even more upsetting. But I opened it up, and right here, I didn't recognize it right away because I thought it was just a circle part of the plastic. But right in the center was a hair that was sticking out. It was about like this long. It was, it was pretty short, but it was sticking in the center. I'm like, you know what? I bet that's it. Had a little bit of dust too in it. So obviously these do get dust in them somehow. I don't know how a hair could get inside it, but it did, and that was the issue, and it works great now. So back to this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out, and we're just gonna get a microfiber cloth. This is actually for glasses. And we're just going to rub away the debris very gently. So when it starts to wear, if there's a little bit of a scratch on your black here, then it's gonna just keep wearing and wearing and wearing. Once that first glaze over the top of it wears out, then you're in trouble. Then it's just gonna keep wearing away more and more, and you're gonna keep getting debris in here, and it's not gonna be great. So if that's the case, I would probably either swap out your joystick or contact Nintendo. and they'll do it for you. Okay, so now we're going to put this back into the metal shell here. So you may not be able to see it, but hopefully you can. There's a little clear plastic tab that's sticking out of here. So what you're going to want to do right here, and this right underneath this metal tab with the two holes in it, there's a tiny little sliver cut out especially for that tab, right in there. And it's going right under the metal there. Now we're going to get our joystick and we're going to combine these two back together. These tell you where the position the joystick is in, the ones with the metal in between them. This one pushes in on this button here, which is clicking in on the joystick. Now there's these little hooks, these kind of plastic white hooks, and they go right in the center of these sliders here, this one and this one. So when you move it around, you can see that one moving, then it knows the position your joystick is in. But to get it to work, perfectly, it needs to have pressure on it, pushing these all down, which is why there's this. We're going to reunite these. So first, I already have the metal ring in there. So if you don't have that in, go ahead and put it in. Then go ahead and put the spring on with the smallest part of it up. Then we're going to want to align the metal pieces with where they correspond to on here. So you see there's two, hopefully you can see that, there's two indents for this piece, which has two holes. So we really just need to identify that part and match it up. So you're going to want to try to not push the joystick at all. Because that could mess up some of the internals that we delicately put back together. You want to work with pushing the base of the joystick. And it looks like a little piece of the metal tabs actually broke off. That didn't happen the first time I did it. We're just going to want to push these tabs in. If you have some pliers, I would suggest using them. If you're like me and you don't, you can use your fingers. And that one broke off too. Looks like these ones are a little less quality than the newer green and pink ones, which I guess makes sense. So those broke off, so that's kind of an issue. Okay, and how you know you've done it right, at least aligned it correctly, is when you push in on the joystick, you get that familiar clicky sound. If it doesn't sound like that, then you probably did it wrong. You should redo it before you get any further. The sides that broke off, that side is coming up. So I need to do something about that. So not ideal, but I used some electrical tape, taped it up. The pressure of the Joy-Con just screwed in together will hold it together better than this tape even will. But hopefully combined it'll be sufficient. So we're going to reunite our joystick with the Joy-Con controller and see if we did everything right. we're not gonna screw it all the way in yet. Just gonna test it. So it's not drifting, which is good. But I wouldn't have been able to have tested that anyways, because it was so rare when this one drifted. But yeah, seems good. You may need to recalibrate after doing this. So if it was like a little bit off, like if you weren't touching it and the circle was just like there, it was a circle like right next to the center and not the plus sign, then recalibrate it. And you can do that by pressing X and recalibrate. And you just show it where its new center is. Up, rotate, calibration complete. There you go. And yep, works good. There's no more dust in our Joy-Con. So we have successfully fixed it without having to go through all the hoops of calling Nintendo or kind of be mad at us for modifying our controller in the first place. Maybe you guys put a new cover on it. So hopefully this helped you out. It was really beneficial for me, and hopefully this is beneficial to you, or at least educational. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to get some of our other content, more like this, and some really hilarious gameplay with the whole gang. So please make sure to like this video if you liked it, share it with someone who may need help with this subject, and I will see you next time. Bye. Now, just remember, don't get super excited about your newly fixed controller and just start playing games. Remember, just screw those screws back in.